J. Tavoni, Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. What else?
Why'd you join the service?
Huh?
Why'd you join the service?
Well, I was in. Had a draft then, you become of age. They dropped the draft to 18 and I was 19. So they drafted me and I was inducted in Philadelphia. Went to New Cumberland, Pennsylvania Induction Center. Stayed up there about 3 days, then they took a train and went to Miami Beach, Florida for basic training, which was very easy. We lived in a hotel and ate in the hotel, and from there I went to Chinookville, Illinois to go to school. They sent me to sheet metal school, but I never practiced sheet metal. I became a mechanic, airplane mechanic, and that, being an airplane mechanic, I applied for gunnery training and I was accepted, and I went to Tucson, Arizona for gunnery training, and I was there for about 6 weeks. And then from there, went to Alamogordo, New Mexico.
You went to Blythe and Salinas.
Yeah, what?
From Arizona, you went to Blythe.
Where'd you go from there?
Yeah. Then I went to Tucson, Arizona. And from Tucson, went to Alamogordo, New Mexico.
No, you went to Blythe. From Tucson, you went to Blythe.
Did like hell.
Oh, did you?
I went to Alamogordo, and we were on a crew with B-24 heavy bombers, and they phased us out, and I was left there, and the B-29s come in, but I wasn't qualified to fly on the B-29s, but I did as a replacement, because I was a Martin turret gunner, and they didn't have any Martin turrets. They had all computerized guns on the B-29s. So they needed some gunners overseas, so I went to Salt Lake City, Utah Replacement Center. They took me to El Paso, New Texas, 2 o'clock in the morning to get on the airplane, commercial airplane, and it was full, so they bumped a civilian. He had to get off, and I got on and went to Salt Lake City, Utah. That was a replacement center. And then I was there for about a week. Then we took a troop train to the East Coast, to New Brunswick, New Jersey. I was there for about a week, and then we got on a big boat, Ile-de-France, had 11,000 troops on it, and I was down in E deck, and the people come through there to go to chow, and there was a guy from Kennett Square went through, my hometown, and we talked and sailed overseas on Ile-de-France with just one ship, no destroyers or nothing, and we landed in Glasgow, Scotland. And from Glasgow, Scotland, I went to what was that replacement center? Stone, England. And the first morning I got there at nighttime, I opened the door to go outside, and a fellow airman come out the other door from Avondale, Pennsylvania. He was going home. His name was Harold Gregg. So I was there for about a week, and they sent me to France, to the 394th Bombardment Group in Orléans, France. And we stayed there for about a month, but it rained so much I never flew a mission there. So we were transferred to Cambrai, France, which was a German airfield, and that's where I flew all my missions from. And I had some wild missions. Some were barely easy, but the worst one was when we bombed the communication and a railroad center, Worms, Germany. I never seen so much flak in my life. And 2 days later, I was on a mission. We just crossed into Germany, and Ack flak start coming up, and I took a piece of big flak in my hip and buttocks, and I was hospitalized till July 7th. Well, from there from Cambrai, Cambrai went to Paris. There was a big military hospital there. And from there, I was slated to go home, so they sent me to Cherbourg, France, where I caught a hospital ship. And we come across, and we were so loaded that the 2nd Armored Division was coming home too after the war, and they slept on the deck. And it rained cats and dogs a day out of Boston. The water was rough, seas were rough, and we landed in Boston. And from there they put me in Camp Miles Standish, which was a hospital center up there. And then I stayed there roughly a week, and they sent me to Asheville, North Carolina, in a hospital. And I stayed there till July 7th, and I was discharged. And I come home. I was still disabled, but I lived with my mother and father, so I didn't have to worry. And I progressed good, and I come home, and 3 months later I got married. And we're having the dinner in Westchester Mansion House, and lo and behold, there's a guy from my group from overseas walk through. I hadn't seen since I left France. So things went good. We got married. Married a girl named Marion Camel. We had 3 children. One was deceased at 24. And then I had 8 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren.
What's your life today?
And very good, had a very good life. Ask some questions, I don't know.
What was, do you remember anyone that you flew with on the missions?
I can't hear.
Do you remember anyone you flew with on any of your missions?
Oh,
Major Campbell?
Major
No,
O'Neill.
Major O'Neill?
He was, we led the 394th Bombardment Group. I was the lead engineer with Major O'Neill. We led the whole group. And I made 30 missions. I was lucky, very lucky. I made it home, like I said. We got married and had a very good life. raised mushrooms for 42 years. And my kids were my life, my wife was, my grandchildren always been in my life.
Okay.
And I'm 86 years old, and I can still remember